और आर्थिक दृष्टि से भी, माने जिस तेजी से भारत आर्थिक दृष्टि से भी बढ़ रहा था, यदि यह पेंडेमिक न आया होता, शायद वो अवरोध न पैदा रहा होता, तो हम आगामी कुछ वर्षों के अंदर ही 7 वर्ष लगता, 8 वर्ष लगता, हम भारत को दुनिया की टॉप 3 इकोनॉमीज में लाकर खड़े होने में कामयाब होते। लेकिन हम आश्वस्त हैं, भारत बढ़ेगा। इस संकट की घड़ी को भी प्रधानमंत्री ने चुनौती के रूप में स्वीकार किया है, और आगे का रास्ता क्या हो सकता है भारत को आर्थिक दृष्टि से भी समृद्धशाली बनाने का, उसके बारे में भी एक दृष्टिकोण उन्होंने अपना प्रस्तुत किया है। अब मुझे बतलाया गया कि इसमें 70 लेक्चर्स, 14 कन्वोकेशंस में जो आदरणीय वेंकैया जी की जो स्पीचेज हैं वो भी हैं, और बहुत सारे, पहले जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट नहीं थे तब भी कभी साइंटिस्ट को संबोधित करना, कभी शिक्षाविदों को संबोधित करना, कहीं कुछ करना, कभी किसानों को संबोधित करना, छात्रों को संबोधित करना, स्टूडेंट पॉलिटिक्स में भी बहुत ही एक्टिव रोल प्ले किया है हमारे आदरणीय वाइस प्रेसिडेंट महोदय ने। तो यह सब बहुत पहले ही करते रहे, और मेरा यह विश्वास है कि जो कुछ इनको बोलते हुए मैंने सुना है, उस आधार पर मेरा यह विश्वास है कि अब इनकी पुस्तक पढ़ने वाले को निश्चित रूप से ज्ञान का एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव मिलेगा, ज्ञान का एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव मिलेगा, मेरा ऐसा भरोसा है। और पहले तो आपातकाल में भी 17 महीने तक जेल में रहे हैं, लेकिन आदरणीय वेंकैया जी से 2-3 महीना हम अधिक जेल रहे हैं। यानी उस समय भी सत्ता नहीं दिखाई देती थी, मैं जेल जा रहा हूं तो हमको सत्ता हासिल होगी, देश के लिए जेल जाना स्वीकार किया। और इस समय हमारे देश के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति के रूप में अपने दायित्व का निर्वहन कर रहे हैं, और साथ ही साथ राज्यसभा जो सर्वोच्च सदन है इस देश का, उसके सभापति के रूप में भी अपनी भूमिका का निर्वाह कर रहे हैं। और ये देखिए, मैं मानता हूं कि कहीं ना कहीं कुछ इन्हीं की कौशल, इनके फॉर्म कन्विक्शन का ही परिणाम है कि सबसे प्रोडक्टिव सेशन यदि किसी के कार्यकाल में कोई एक सेशन रहा है तो हमारे आदरणीय वेंकैया नायडू जी के कार्यकाल में रहा है। ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। और सीजन्ड एक्सपीरियंस्ड एक पॉलिटिशियन के रूप में तो इनकी इमेज प्रारंभ से ही रही है। आदरणीय अटल जी की गवर्नमेंट में भी बहुत ही, अटल जी स्वयं भी तारीफ करते थे, रूरल डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्टर के रूप में भी जब ये काम कर रहे थे, और मैंने तो अर्बन डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्टर के रूप में काम करते हुए आज के प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय मोदी जी के साथ देखा है। और कैबिनेट में सचमुच बिल्कुल बराबर कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स को भी समय समय पर मैसेज देते रहना, जो भी उचित है, क्या करना चाहिए कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर के रूप में, यह सब भी वेंकैया जी कहने में कभी भी संकोच इन्होंने नहीं किया। और मैंने देखा है इमोशनल होने के साथ ही साथ एक फर्म कन्विक्शन वाला व्यक्तित्व इनका रहा है, और कभी मुझे ऐसा लगा कि इनके अंदर भय नाम की कोई चीज है ही नहीं, निर्भीक व्यक्तित्व रहा इनका। मेरा विश्वास है कि यह जो कॉफी टेबल बुक है वो निश्चित रूप से स्टूडेंट भी देखेगा और साथ ही साथ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर भी देखेगा, और वह लाभान्वित होगा। मैं आप सबसे इस अच्छी पुस्तक कॉफी टेबल को पढ़ने का अनुरोध करते हुए और आदरणीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय के प्रति हृदय की गहराइयों से सम्मान की अभिव्यक्ति करते हुए अपना निवेदन समाप्त करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद माननीय मंत्री जी। और अब इस अत्यंत विशिष्ट अवसर पर मैं परम आदरणीय उपराष्ट्रपति माननीय श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी से करबद्ध निवेदन करती हूं कि इस सुअवसर पर अपने विचारों से हमें कृतार्थ करें।
देश का रक्षा मंत्री और मेरा मित्र श्री राजनाथ सिंह जी और सूचना प्रसारण और पर्यावरण परिरक्षण मंत्री श्री प्रकाश जावड़ेकर जी और हमारा सचिव श्री आई वी सुब्बाराव जी और राज्यसभा सेक्रेटरी जनरल श्री देश दीपक वर्मा जी, राज्यसभा सचिव डॉक्टर पी.के. रामाचार्य जी और केंद्र सरकार का शिक्षा और सूचना प्रसारण मंत्रालय में सचिव श्री अमित खरे जी और बाकी वरिष्ठ अधिकारी और मित्रों, मैं सबसे पहले सभी देशवासियों को जन्माष्टमी के शुभ अवसर पर शुभकामना देता हूं। प्रकाश जावड़ेकर जी और राजनाथ जी दोनों ने हमारा भारतीय भाषा हिंदी में बोला। हर एक शब्द मुझे इतना अच्छा लगा क्योंकि हमारा स्वभाषा और देश भाषा में सुनने में आनंद आता है। मैं बाकी जो लोग जिनको हिंदी उतना अच्छी तरह समझने की स्थिति में नहीं है, उन लोगों के लिए थोड़ा मैं अंग्रेजी में बोलूँगा। I and Rajnath Singh ji, we belong to a generation that believed more in the real world, where Prakash ji more at ease with the virtual reality. Change is the only constant of life. Virtual reality has emerged as the present day reality, and it shows up in today's event of releasing publication on my last 3 years in office, with very few participating physically. Of course, lakhs will be देखते रहेंगे, दूरदर्शन में भी है, राज्यसभा टीवी भी है और अन्य चैनलों में भी। This is the new normal of life, as we all seek to cope up with the coronavirus-induced restrictions. ये restrictions का pending में है, pandemic का, इसका ending कब होगा मालूम नहीं। फिर भी हम लोग आशा करते हैं जल्द से जल्द हमको इससे मुक्त मिलेगा। By inclination, I love to be with the people, not miss the people, to the maximum extent possible. That is how I have lived over the last 4 decades of my public life, till that new reality has come to stare us in the form of this coronavirus. Honestly, the initial days of confinement since March 25th, this year has not been easy for me, I must admit it. Then I took a deep breath and reflected on the new reality and summoned the internal reserves to find the way forward. The answer was to stay calm and to reset the mind to define the new normal of life. And I got adjusted. Today's release of the publication is the 3rd series on my efforts, the outcome of the Vice President of India and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The publication titled Connecting, Communicating and Changing primarily defines the contours of my mission and the outcomes. The last 1 year since August 2019 has been a mix of hectic public engagements over the first about 8 months, followed by the corona-induced uneasy slowdown. The first phase was marked by about 20 public engagements per month. I spoke at over 70 public events on a range of issues and addressed 14 convocations during this period. The last year, my target groups have been the farmers, who are my first love, the youth, including the students, who are the future of our nation, the scientists and experts who offer solutions to make our life better and make us happy, the administrators who really implement the policies that are formulated, the captains of industry who add to our wealth, and the doctors and others who take care of our health, and the Indian diaspora while I am on foreign visits. The main objective of connecting and communicating with these target groups was to share with them my experiences, my concerns, my worldview, and the way forward for building a new India, strong, stable, prosperous India. Besides knowing their perspective, trying to understand their aspirations. It was all smooth till the virus broke out, because I was meeting, greeting, talking, walking, interacting, and then later acting on the interaction. That was all very comfortable. But since the virus, it's a new normal. Since March this year, the Mission Connect acquired a different dimension. With no travel, no physical meetings, the only way to keep connected was through the medium of technology. As I came in terms with myself after the initial hesitancy, since the lockdown, I was keen to know how my old and long-term acquaintances were coping with the corona threat. As these inquiries proved beneficial, I scaled up the mission. I reached to around 1,600 or so people, including school, college, and university mates. I enjoyed it. They also enjoyed. The teachers, the colleagues, legislators, including almost all the members of the Rajya Sabha. I personally spoke to them. And also our media friends who are working and who are retired but not tired. This has been a very revealing and rewarding experience for me, interaction with these people. As the scale of viral infection kept growing and the myths and misinformation finding wider currency, I was keen to share verified and authentic information regarding the virus, its spread and disease, the precautions to be taken both to prevent it and overcome it also. I was keen to make the people not to panic and instead make only a few changes in their daily habits. Social media came handy in this regard. I posted around 350 tweets and 55 Facebook posts since April this year. I made a good use of the time available to read widely, to enrich my knowledge. Parliamentary debates, Constituent Assembly debates, the freedom struggle, contribution made by various heroes, various hues of thought, how they have all taken up this mission to get freedom to our country. That has really enhanced my stamina, my strength and knowledge. I try to pass it on to the younger generation through my articles in the newspapers, both in the print as well as social media. In essence, the coronavirus-induced confinement kept me more busy and engaged than before. I was restive earlier. Initially, I was telling my secretary and other staff, what is this, how long we have to sit like this. The first time in my life I can share with the people of the country. The first time in my life that I stayed in a place for more than 4 days, any time since 1977. I always used to move, meet, as Rajnath Singh was telling, I used to enjoy going to one state in the morning, another state in the afternoon, and reach a night destination to the other place. And I used to enjoy it. These engagements in this virus, of course, kept me busy. The outcomes of this Mission Connect as the Vice President of India cannot really be quantified, as there are no ways to do so. I now come to my role as the Chairman of Rajya Sabha with the hope to share with you some numbers to know if anything has changed during the last 3 years. In our polity, the public discourse on many issues is not often based on evidence. This applies to the debate and the functioning of the parliament, including the Rajya Sabha. Last year, I have commissioned, I told my officers, senior officers, to make an analysis of the functioning of the Rajya Sabha since it came into being in 1952. This first of its kind effort to read some major revelations. Out of the last 68 years, the governments of the day did not have a majority in Rajya Sabha. For 39 years. Out of 68 years, 39 years the ruling party of the day did not have a majority in Rajya Sabha. Including a stretch of last 31 years, the governments of the day did not have a majority. This statistics is important as the composition of the House has a bearing on its functioning. The time spent on passing the government bills have remained almost the same over the years. However, the time spent on ensuring the accountability of the executive of the day through instruments including question hour has shown a disturbing declining trend over the years. The time spent on the deliberative functioning of the House has been increasing, reaching a record high of 36% of the total time of the House, now as against 28% during 2004 and 14. With our collective efforts, we could take it to 36%. The discussing about various legislation. More importantly, the productivity of the House has been steadily declining over the last 25 years. To further illustrate this declining productivity, Rajya Sabha has clocked annual productivity of 100% only once in 1999 during the last 20 years. As a member of the Rajya Sabha for 19 years, I am aware of the limitations and the frustration of large section of the House over persistent disruptions. As the chairman, I ventured over the last 3 years to make a difference by adopting different ways of outreach to all concerned, including groups, parties, individually, collectively also. Since assuming the office of chairman of Rajya Sabha, I have presided over 8 sessions, beginning with the 244th session. The average productivity of the House during this period comes to 65.50%. Session-wise, 4 of the 8 sessions have clocked a good productivity. It was 73% during the 246th session, 104% during the 249th session, 99% during the historic 250th session, and 76% during the last 251st session. As you know, the last 3 years the Rajya Sabha functioned for over 1 year under the shadow of elections. In the run-up to the general elections 2019. This impacted the functioning of the House, showing the productivity of 28.90% during the 245th session, 27.30 during the 247th session, and a low of 6.80 during the 248th session. As a result, the Rajya Sabha has clocked annual average productivity of 35.75% during the 2018, the lowest ever. However, I did not let my optimism desert me and persisted with my mission for change. I am happy to report to the nation that my mission for change have clocked a productivity of 78.42% in 2019, the best since 2010. The consistently high productivity during the last 3 sessions is a certain indication of winds of change. That's where this word of changing comes. During the last 3 years, Rajya Sabha passed around 93 bills, including several far-reaching ones. 60 bills amounting to 65% of the total were passed during the last 3 sessions. This further supports the visible winds of change in the form of improved legislative output. This has to be noted. The functioning of the 8 department-related standing committees of Rajya Sabha has been another area of my concern. I have been sharing the same with the chairman of those committees and leaders of various parties. I am happy to report that the average attendance in the meetings of these committees have for the first time crossed over 50% during 19 and 20. It has been 50.73% as against the average attendance of 42.29% earlier. Also, number of meetings held without quorum has fallen from 38.77% during 2018 to 10.20% during 1920. There is a marked improvement. The number of meetings with over 50% attendance increased from 14.28% to 51.02% during this period. This is yet another confirmation of the winds of change that I was referring to. My dear friends, dispelling the apprehensions voiced in the Constituent Assembly over the need for a Rajya Sabha, this august institution has functioned as a constructive partner in legislating for the country's transformation over the last 7 decades. In line with this spirit, despite composition of the House and stated positions, Rajya Sabha has recently passed certain major bills like the Triple Talaq Bill, the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Bill, which is historic, and the Citizenship Amendment Bill. The House has also witnessed quite a few quality debates and also discussions. Amidst the winds of change, I am aware that about 1/3 of the valuable functional time of the House was lost due to disruptions during the last 8 sessions. Collectively, all sections of the House need to strive to bring down this disruption quotient. This is my area of concern. There is an improvement, but I am not still fully satisfied because there is scope for further improvement. The expectations of the people are very high, and we are House of Elders. So we must set up standards and live up to the expectations of the people. Whatever change was visible in the functioning of the Rajya Sabha, it was an account of understanding shown and cooperation extended by the leaders and members of various parties. I compliment all of them for the same and urge them to do even more. We need to ensure that our parliament and legislatures become more vibrant and robust by raising the standards and qualities of debates, as also by adopting a constructive approach. As we are all close to celebrating the 75th year of the independence of India, our great nation, in 2022, all of us need to remind ourselves of the inspiring ideals of the freedom struggle espoused by Mahatma Gandhi and other great leaders. All individuals and the institutions, including the legislature, shall resolve to do their best to keep up our nation in the forefront of the world leaders, given our innate potential and capabilities to be so. This is my appeal to the people. In the last few years, the government have launched several initiatives to improve the ecosystem of governance, the innovation, and the entrepreneurship, besides removing various hurdles adversely impacting different sectors. Greater emphasis is being laid on building a knowledge society through promotion of science, research, and excellence. The quest for excellence is seen in various levels of governance and among the people. The youth of the country must be motivated to join the developmental path more aggressively. That is the reason for my regular interaction with the youth of the country. While our scientists and researchers must come up with innovations and out-of-box concepts and solutions that address like climate challenge to make our life better and happy. They must focus on making the lives of the people not only comfortable but make happy. Science must also be used to make agriculture more productive and create greater wealth for farmers and the nation. The revamping of education by implementing new educational policy will pave the way for a new India. Education is the foundation of nation building. We should ensure that children and youth of the country remain rooted to the Indian ethos and learn as many languages as possible, especially the mother tongue. That's why I always say mother tongue, motherland. And the mentor, They should always guide us. They are the motivating spirit. We should respect them, promote them, propagate them. Language should be a catalyst for inclusive development. We in India are fortunate to be heirs to a great linguistic tradition. Our country is a linguistic treasure house. Ours is a nation that is widely acknowledged for its extraordinary linguistic and cultural diversity. The plurality and coexistence of multiple languages add color and vitality to our country and make it unique. Our languages are a repository of our collective knowledge and wisdom, which we have amassed over the course of the long journey of our vibrant civilization. We need to preserve our language and culture. We must start by offering in our schools a curriculum in which the mother tongue of the learners is the medium of instruction, at least at primary level, as suggested by the new education policy. I would like to compliment Sri Kasturi Rangan committee, the members, and also the present government and the minister and the secretary and all concerned who are trying to take it forward. Because education in mother tongue lays the foundation. That's why I always give simple example to the people. There is a debate going on whether we should learn English. Is it not necessary? Yes, English is also necessary. But mother tongue is a must. See, mother tongue like is your eyes. The other language is like spectacles. If you have eyesight, the spectacles will improve your foresight. Otherwise, you will not be able to see anything. That is the importance of the mother tongue. So it is time the government of India, state governments, private sector, all apply their mind, including the parents, to focus the attention on imparting primary education in the mother tongue. We need to work with renewed vigor in trying to reach goals set by us and ensuring various institutions become more robust and effective in discharging these functions. All efforts shall be made to realize the target set for 2022 by the government, besides meeting the sustainable development goals by 2030 set by the United Nations. These goals, as I outlined earlier, were set by the government, by the country. What are the goals by 2022? So everybody, all the stakeholders must focus their attention in realizing the target. 2022 is not far away. And 2030 also is not far away. Sustainable development. The planet must live in happiness, in harmony, in prosperity, with love and affection. For that, sustainable development goals are very important. Poverty, illiteracy, inequality, gender discrimination, corruption, and all other social evils shall be eradicated at the earliest through collective efforts. Mere governmental efforts alone will not suffice. All of us should join together. And one has to bridge the urban-rural divide and ensure that fruits of development reach everyone. जो अंतिम पंक्ति में बैठे उनका उत्थान पहले होना चाहिए. महात्मा गांधी जी ने कहा, अंबेडकर जी ने कहा और दीनदयाल जी ने कहा. Let us convert hard-won Swaraj into an all-encompassing Swaraj, good governance. Let us convert Swaraj into Suraj. In the present world order, it is the economic power built on its various supporting pillars that gives the space and voice to influence the course of events at global level. Our country should realize its potential, economic potentiality, to get its due place in the Committee of Nations. The economic disruption caused by the COVID pandemic shall be put behind at the earliest to hit the high growth rate trajectory. This calls for resolve and united effort. On this occasion, I would like to humbly submit my mission Connect and Communicate for Change over the last 3 years. The aim is to realize the change. We need to adopt a more positive attitude and strive hard to make the country economically stronger, stable, secure, Today, India is at the crucial transformation movement, led by the Prime Minister's extraordinary dynamism. I use the word extraordinary. Amazing energy the Prime Minister has. The new ideas, programs, schemes. All the time thinking about the country and the poor and the ordinary people, and then formulating and coming out with schemes. Our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi is leading from the front. The country as a team is taking rapid strides towards the inclusive and sustainable development. We should all join and accelerate the developmental process. If we can sustain the momentum and work together, we shall be able to unveil Shrestha Bharat, Samruddha Bharat, Swachha Bharat, Swastha Bharat, and Atma Nirbhara Bharat that we have been collectively dreaming of. As I complete my third eventful year in office today, I eagerly look forward to return of normalcy so that I can restart my favorite activity of interacting and mingling with the people, not virtual but actual. Rest makes me restive. I feel invigorated and regenerated when I meet people from different walks of life. Farmers, youth, scientists, social workers, young officers and entrepreneurs. Until the situation improves, let us all continue to make precautions, wearing masks, observing social distance, taking all the necessary precautions and helping the helpless, coming to their aid in need. I would like to thank the President of India, Sri Rajnath Singh, for his kind greetings. I also thank Sri Rajnath Singh ji and Sri Prakash Javadekar ji for being with us on this occasion. I appreciate the efforts of the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, especially the Publication Division, in bringing out this bill. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Nandri. Vanakkam.
Thank you, Honorable Vice President, for your guiding and inspiring words. और कार्यक्रम के अंत में हमारे प्रतिष्ठित मेहमानों का धन्यवाद करने के लिए, उनके प्रति आभार व्यक्त करने के लिए मैं सूचना और प्रसारण सचिव श्री अमित खरे को आमंत्रित करती हूं।
माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी, माननीय रक्षा मंत्री श्री राजनाथ सिंह जी, माननीय सूचना प्रसारण, वन पर्यावरण, भारी उद्योग तथा लोक उपक्रम मंत्री श्री प्रकाश जावड़ेकर जी, सभागार में उपस्थित सभी गणमान्य जन तथा ऑनलाइन माध्यमों से जुड़े हुए लाखों दर्शक एवं श्रोतागण, सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्रालय की ओर से तथा अपनी ओर से मैं माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का हार्दिक धन्यवाद और आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि उन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम हेतु अपनी अनुमति प्रदान की एवं अपना बहुमूल्य समय दिया। माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का मार्गदर्शन सदा हमें मिलता रहा है और मैं समझता हूं कनेक्टिंग, कम्युनिकेटिंग एंड चेंजिंग इस पुस्तक से समाज के सभी वर्ग प्रेरित एवं उत्प्रेरित होंगे और स्वराज से सुराज की ओर, जैसा माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी ने कहा, उस ओर हम लोग सभी मिलकर काम करेंगे ताकि स्वाभिमानी, समृद्धशाली, शक्तिशाली भारत का उदय हो सके। मैं माननीय रक्षा मंत्री जी के प्रति हार्दिक कृतज्ञता ज्ञापित करता हूं। उन्होंने अपने व्यस्त कार्यक्रम से समय निकालकर यहाँ अपना उद्बोधन करके हमें उत्साहित किया। महोदय, रक्षा मंत्री महोदय ने पुस्तकों के बारे में एक बहुत बड़ी बात कही, बुक्स आर द बेस्ट गिफ्ट फ्रॉम वन जनरेशन टू अनदर। हमारे मंत्रालय का प्रकाशन विभाग निरंतर इस ओर प्रयास कर रहा है कि जितने भी संभाषण और भाषण होते हैं माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी के, उपराष्ट्रपति जी के, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के, प्रतिवर्ष उसको प्रकाशित करके आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए ऑनलाइन माध्यम से और ऑफलाइन दोनों माध्यमों से उपलब्ध कराया जाए। माननीय रक्षा मंत्री और माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का परस्पर साथ एवं सहयोग वर्षों पुराना है और आज अपने उन अनुभवों से आपने हमको अवगत कराया और निश्चित रूप से उन अनुभवों से और विशेष रूप से जो आपने पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री श्री अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी की जो यादें रखी, उससे निश्चित रूप से हम सभी प्रेरित होंगे। माननीय सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्री के मार्गदर्शन में हम सभी अपने आप को और अधिक बेहतर करने की ओर हमेशा अग्रसर रहते हैं, क्योंकि उनका यह प्रयास रहता है कि हर चीज़ बिल्कुल परफेक्ट होनी चाहिए। महोदय, आपका मार्गदर्शन हमें हमेशा मिलते रहा है और इसके लिए मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। इस कार्यक्रम के आयोजन में माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी के सचिव डॉक्टर IV सुब्बा राव जी और उनकी पूरी टीम ने अत्यधिक सहयोग किया है। पुस्तक के प्रकाशन से लेकर आज के समारोह के आयोजन तक के लिए मैं आपके प्रति और पूरी टीम के प्रति आभार व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा। हमारे बीच राज्यसभा के महासचिव श्री देश दीपक वर्मा जी, प्रसार भारती के CEO श्री शशि शेखर वेम्पति जी और PIB के महानिदेशक सहित सभी गणमान्य अतिथि यहाँ उपस्थित हैं। मैं उन सभी का आभार व्यक्त करते हुए विशेष रूप से प्रकाशन विभाग की जो अपर महानिदेशक सुश्री मोनिदीपा M मुखर्जी एवं उनकी टीम को, जिन्होंने अथक प्रयास से हमारे उपराष्ट्रपति जी के सचिव के मार्गदर्शन में इस पुस्तक का लेखन एवं उसका संपादन किया, मैं प्रकाशन विभाग को भी इस अवसर पर हार्दिक बधाई एवं धन्यवाद देता हूं। एक बार पुनः आप सभी को हार्दिक धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद माननीय सचिव महोदय। और कार्यक्रम के अंत में सभी गणमान्य अतिथिगण से अनुरोध कि कृपया राष्ट्रगान के लिए अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं।
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तब जय गाथा। जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे